Lies, new Wednesday on CBS.
Coming up, a freak accident takes the life of a young child in Corbin.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Absolute heartbreak tonight in a Southern Kentucky community after an 8-year-old boy was killed in a freak accident while playing basketball. It happened outside his home in Corbin Monday. Eli Hill, seen here, was just 8 years old. He was taken to UK Hospital where he died. The coroner says the backboard of the basketball goal fell on Eli, hitting him in the chest. Eli's parents are able to open up tonight and talk about their son, which is certainly a testament to their faith. They know exactly where their son is. They also know his heart of gold, as they call it, is still beating as Eli gave the gift of life. Chad Hedrick met with Eli's parents.
It comes in waves. We can be fine for just a moment and then we break down, and we know that cycle's going to continue for a while.
The stages of grief no parent is ready for. Adam and Ashley Hill's hearts are shattered after losing their 8-year-old son, Eli.
He loved to play. He just wanted to play. He waited for his dad to come home every night at 6:30 so that he could get him, into a game of basketball, or they would make up games and play them.
The energetic boy was killed Monday in a freak accident while playing basketball at home. His family is overwhelmed with grief, but their faith is getting them through.
Eli was a believer. He's a believer in God. And if anything, they say there's no good can come out of this, but anything, if somebody is watching this, be a testimony to God. Take your kids to church. Go to church. We took Eli to church.
The Hills Church shared this post about Eli. They say he was an active member in Vacation Bible School and Christmas Blaze. As much as he loved church, Eli loved his friends and sports.
Loved sports. He loved people. He had so many little friends. He has a best friend.
He's a best friend.
They're devastated. We feel so bad for them.
The coming days, weeks, and even months will be challenging for Eli's friends and family, but they take comfort knowing his legacy and even a piece of him will live on by donating his organs.
We know that our most devastated moment is somebody else's answered prayer. Somebody got a call this morning or last night that there was a heart for them. And listen, they got the best heart. It was a golden heart. It is a golden heart. And we are just so proud that somebody else has his heart. And we hope that a little bit of him is carried with them.
The Hills want parents to know you can never say "I love you" too much to your children. Funeral arrangements for Eli have not been finalized.
Showers continue to approach the region as we head through the late night hours tonight, and they'll be with us as we head through tonight and into tomorrow as well. Here's a look outside from UVA-wise right now. It's all quiet. Upper 40s at the moment. One of our cooler spots. Now, we're all headed down into the 40s tonight, but many of us remain in the 50s at this hour. You can kind of see where the rain is and isn't. Most of our region is still in the 50s. Lexington up in the 40s. Same thing in Louisville. You look at satellite and radar and you think, well, everybody's seeing rain. That's not quite the case. Not all of that is making it to the ground. We just don't have that moisture everywhere yet. But as the rain falls, we'll cool down into the 40s tonight as those showers move on in. They'll be with us tomorrow, then we get a break, and then more rain works in. The full breakdown in a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. Governor Beshear was in one Eastern Kentucky county today, dedicating the second house built partially by the Team Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund. WYMT's Keaton Hall has more with the family who are getting a new place to call home.
Jason and William Gross have been living in a travel trailer since July when they lost their home to the flood. On Tuesday, the governor helped dedicate the construction of their new home.
Yes, I thank God. I thank God. Yes, I do. I'm excited to be in a new house.
This is the second home to be partially funded by Governor Beshear's Team Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund.
So we're supposed to be there for one another, and that's exactly what all these groups and community members have come together and done. Nobody worried about credit. Everybody just worried about getting a home up that they can permanently move into.
The home is actually one of 3 in the neighborhood built by Homes Incorporated for flood victims.
It couldn't happen to 2 greater people. It's happening in a neighborhood that Homes is building that will have 3 or 4 families of flood survivors. They're already getting to know each other, so they'll move in already with neighbors that they know and that care about them.
Jason and Bill say they're excited to move from their travel trailer and into their new home, out of the floodplain.
Thank God for this gonna happen for us. We getting a nice house.
The governor committed $1.2 million to the construction of homes like the Grosses. In Letcher County, Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News.
Other groups helping to get the Grosses into their new home include FAHEC, the Kentucky Housing Corporation, and CORE. The annual Appalachian Regional Commission Conference is coming to Ashland this fall. Governor Beshear and co-chair Gail Manchin announced that earlier today during a news conference in Ashland. The conference will bring several hundred people to the area, including governors from all 13 states that the ARC serves. Conference attendees come together and work to strengthen Appalachia through workforce development.
And ARC has that same goal. They have been investing in these communities for so long, and their mission is simple: innovate, partner, and invest to build community capacity and strengthen economic growth in Appalachia.
Ashland had to go through a long application process and was ultimately chosen for its location and availability of conference space and hotels. To watch the entire announcement, you can find this story on WYMT.com. Ashland and the LKLP Kentucky Career Center came together to host a job fair today. Compared to other job fairs, this one in Perry County allowed for a more one-on-one experience for people job searching. Ashland Regional Manager Stephen Pennycuff says there's room to grow with the company.
But one of the great things about what we do is that you don't have to have any previous experience. Everything that you learn about is on the job. So there are opportunities for advancement in other fields as well. So a lot of people use this as kind of a starting point.
Ashland is looking to host more events and job fairs at the Career Center in the future. An impeachment trial for a Commonwealth's attorney accused of serious unethical offenses took place at the state capitol today. Ronnie Lee Goldie was the Commonwealth's attorney for Bath, Rowan, Montgomery, and Menifee counties. He resigned amid accusations he did favors for a defendant. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what took place today in Frankfort.
Kentucky senators have large binders of evidence that representatives say contain terrible and awful allegations about prosecutor Ronnie Lee Goldie.
Doing favors in return for pictures, for nude pictures and videos. We're talking about the giving of remuneration money.
The allegations center around the contact between Goldie, the Commonwealth's attorney for Bath, Menifee, Montgomery, and Rowan counties, and defendant Misty Helton.
We're talking about communications directly with that defendant. And for the non-lawyers on here, that is a problem. Obviously, when it's a civil case, it's a bigger problem. When it's a case of prosecution.
Ronnie Lee Goldie was not in the committee room today. Neither was someone representing him. Several times during the proceedings, the chairman asked if anyone would like to speak on his behalf, and no one responded. The Senate committee acts as a jury with the representatives, the prosecutors. Brian Wright, the Commonwealth's attorney for Casey and Adair counties, was called as the main witness.
It was clear that those videos are inappropriate in nature. He was looking for nude or naked videos, and in his response, he says he never used those words.
Goldie has already resigned, but lawmakers say their job is to take the punishment further.
And the purpose of impeachment is not just to force bad actors to resign, it is to ensure the public trust cannot be further betrayed.
Committees could resume hearings Wednesday, but Representative Elliott says final judgment papers will not be ready until Monday. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The full Senate will likely take up whatever the committee decides. The General Assembly is set to resume for 2 more days next Wednesday. The CDC is sounding the alarm about the growing threat of a deadly fungus called Candida auris. Today, the agency published research saying clinical cases of Candida auris are skyrocketing. Cases went up from 53 in 2016 to almost 1,500 in 2021. Kentucky saw 0 cases in 2020, 7 in 2021, and at least 22 in 2022. One health expert we talked to says the general public does not have too much to worry about with this fungus, but it is problematic for a few reasons.
So it's mostly a problem in nursing homes and in patients who've been in the hospitals and, say, intensive care units for an extensive period of time that have open wounds or IV catheters in.
The CDC recommends speaking with your healthcare provider if you believe you have any type of fungal or healthcare associated infection. Lawrence County native and American Idol winner Noah Thompson was at the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame in Renfro Valley earlier today for the unveiling of his case in a special exhibit featuring Kentuckians that have made a recent impact in music. Thompson says he never dreamed he would be in the place he is today, and he credits his dad for the musical influence he made on him as a young child.
Not in a million years. I mean, it's something that I've always dreamed, yeah, but you know, I had a dad that I really looked up to as a kid, and he, you know, he toured around, played music, and I really looked up to him, man. He was like he was my idol, really, he was, you know what I mean? He was my biggest influence and the reason I wanted to play music in the first place.
If you'd like to see Noah's case in the exhibit and visit the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame in Rockcastle County, it's open daily from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. The museum staff tells us the exhibit will be up for 1 year. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, the Pike County Fiscal Court approves a new 911 ordinance today, but not without some objections.
Plus, we continue to watch an increase in showers. The breakdown after this.
What makes for excellence in heart care? It starts with one of the most amazing teams of heart surgeons and